Hello, I'm Brenda. This is Write Your Story, and in this video we're going to look at the first 2 steps to writing any memoir. What I've done in this video is I've taken an excerpt from an interview I've done with Melody Ann of Author Nation. Melody Ann is the founder of Author Nation, which is a community by authors for authors. So if you want to be a successful non-fiction author, do check out authornationtube.com. So in this video, we look at that important question of how to first write for yourself, why you should first write for yourself, and what is the difference between writing for yourself and writing for the reader. We also talk about what it is to be invisible on the page, which is an integral part of writing for the reader, and you can only get to it if you first write for yourself. And then lastly, we're going to look at how do you know when you're ready to move from step 1, writing for yourself, to step 2, writing for the reader. So here is the excerpt of that interview that will answer these questions.
We both help people write memoirs. And this is a question. Some people come and they're like, I want to write my memoir, and they haven't written anything for themselves yet. They haven't done the journaling, and they haven't done the exploration, and they haven't done the coming through the other side, and they want to start writing a journal for readers. And what I often say, and I'm going to ask you what you would say, what I often say is, like, first write for yourself. The first time you write your story, the only reader is you. The only audience is you, because you need to work through all of that before you can find the pieces for a different audience. So, when should someone decide to go from kind of like that personal writing about their own grief to writing their memoir? I want to ask you that question too.
I would agree with you, write first for yourself. And I think the reason being, especially if you're writing a topic like this, I think if you're writing a memoir that doesn't have all the angst perhaps as a memoir like this would have, I would still say write first for yourself, because it helps you find your true voice, the one that speaks authentically, not the one that's trying to tell something to somebody else. So it's a case of always finding our authentic voice first. But in writing something about a traumatic event or grief or something that's highly emotional, I think it's always important to get it out on the page first, to get through that raw emotion that's really only for you and for your eyes. It's not what anybody else actually wants to witness or read about. They're not interested. I mean, maybe for some interest value perhaps, but honestly, your raw emotion is just too raw for most people. And it doesn't make good reading material. So it's good to get your raw emotion out on the page, say everything you want to say it, the way you want to say it, no holds barred, and then to go through it, and then to see what is it in your story that actually has value for somebody else. Because that's the whole point with writing and switching from being someone who's just experiencing their own emotion and putting it on the page in journaling. You're now ready to actually find what is the element in here that you can share with somebody else who, as the reader, will now find this interesting, because their own life will actually cross over with it. They'll see their own life in it. It's not just a case of being a witness to what's happened to you. And I called it, when you can do that, you actually become what I call being invisible on the page. Until you can actually move yourself off the page, and your story now just becomes a way to illustrate a truth that you want to tell somebody else, you're going to always be on that page, and you're going to be front and center, and it's not going to be readable material for somebody else. So it's at that point where you've dealt with your emotions, you now can move yourself off center stage, and your story is now just illustrating a life truth for somebody else.
How do we know when we're ready to make that switch? Like, how do you know when you're ready to do that? And what should you consider?
On my YouTube channel, I often encourage writers to trust the process, to trust their own instincts. I think there's always such a balance between the rules and knowing what the rules are of writing, and trusting the process, trusting your instincts. So I would say, if you're open to trusting the process and instincts, it will come at different times for different people, depending on who you are and what your situation is. But there'll become a time when you've realized, I think I'm ready now. I'm ready now to take all of this and rework it and change the focus of it and make it a book for somebody else. And that really is up to you as to when that process, that turning point comes, and what part of that process it will be.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Last question. Where can people get a hold of you?
If you want to contact me, the best place to do that is through my website. On my website, there's a Let's Connect tab and a Let's Connect form. So you can fill that in and just say, let's connect, and I'll get back to you, or let me know what you'd like to connect over or about, or what you're looking for. And that is really the best way to connect with me.